So last time we left Robinhood teetering on the edge of an Eredivisie relegation battle as we approached the halfway point in the season, having just lost 5 games in a row. Make that 6. Yikes. No surprise then when we were edged out of the cup by Feyenoord. However, cup defeat would prove to be that jolt in the arm that we needed as we dug down deep and battled hard in our next game against Groningen. Just ignore the comedy error here by Estrada, as despite the fact that we took the lead twice and were pegged back twice, we dug deep and kept fighting to the end, with new signing Tristan Eaton grabbing a winner in the 4th minute of stoppage time. The following week we got our Christmas celebrations in early with a revenge win over Feyenoord in the last game before the start of the winter break. That win meant we had done the double over our opponents this season in the league, and even though we had only moved up 1 place in the table, we had opened up a 5-point gap to the relegation zone. January brought with it a couple of deals in the transfer market. We continued our unofficial policy of signing American youngsters as Russell Rumans joined from Chicago FC to bolster our midfield options. And we also saw a high amount of interest in our Italian winger, Carsten Rosenthal. He would eventually sign for AC Milan in a £1.2 million deal. However, the Italian giants insisted on a loan back clause as part of the deal, so he remains a Robinhood player for now. In the league, despite a loss to Utrecht right after the end of the winter break, we did put 2 more wins on the board with new loan signing Carsten Rosenthal on the score sheet in both games, all of which set up another clash with Ajax. An early error from Rosenthal gave Tadic the chance to open the scoring just 2 minutes in. Jovic would then add another just before half-time. Rosenthal would make up for his mistake with a goal early in the second half, but that glimmer of hope didn't last for long, and ultimately Ajax were just too good for us. Nathan Markello sending off, not helping much. Another defeat followed at AZ Alkmaar, but we ground out the results after that with a series of impressive defensive performances, which ultimately turned into a 6-game unbeaten run, with only 1 goal conceded across those games. Granted, we only scored 5, but this was the kind of run we needed at this stage in the season, especially as we then had 2 narrow defeats to PSV and Fortuna Sittard. Nevertheless, by this stage we had hauled ourselves up to 13th in the table. With 3 games to play, mathematically we were safe from automatic relegation, and just 1 more point was needed to avoid that promotion relegation playoff. We would get that point in our penultimate game of the season against FC Emmen, but that would prove to be our final point and our final goal of the season. After that promising run through February and March, we finished poorly, with only 1 point in our final 5 games and only 1 goal through April and May. Our new signings hadn't really made any meaningful impact, though the likes of Tristan Eaton showed some promise for the future. Aside from the goalkeeper Estrada, nobody averaged above a 7 across the season, and a big issue was lack of goals. Despite having been in with a shout of the European Golden Boot the previous season, and despite picking up 3 impressive awards this season, De La Cruz only managed 10 goals this time out, just 8 of those coming in the league. Ultimately, we finished 12th. Not too bad for only our 2nd season in the Eredivisie, but slightly disappointing after our 8th place finish the season before. And I think this is where the Robinhood portion of this story is going to come to an end. Now, I did have a grand vision for this to be my main save of FM22 and possibly taking Robinhood to the Eredivisie title and success in Europe, all the while generating talent for that Surinamese national team. But in real world time, it's been 8 months and we're only 5 seasons in. And with Suriname about to make an appearance at the World Cup, that seems like a logical point at which to bring the series to an end. That will free up some time for me to get some fun projects done before FM23, as well as a new iteration of the International Manager of Mystery Save. So our next episode, maybe the last episode, it depends how well we do, will come from the 2026 World Cup. Make sure you like and subscribe and watch it to find out how we get on.